The learning objective for this module include recognize examples of physical hazards from common foodborne hazards and list common equipment used in food industry to prevent physical hazard. Now, let us watch a short video clip demonstrating how physical hazard may be associated with our daily food safety.
Did this ever happen to you? You are eating a piece of pizza, and all of a sudden, you know you are bleeding. Chances are, sometimes our food may be contaminated by sharp objects that can hurt your mouth, lips, and tongues.
Physical hazards are usually physical objects found in food that may cause injury to consumers. These injuries may include choking, damage of the mouth, tongues, and teeth. Physical hazards, when present in food, can either be foreign materials unintentionally introduced to food products during food processing, or from naturally occurring objects. Where do these physical hazards come from? Of course, for naturally occurring physical hazards, they come from the raw materials. Some plant origin ingredients may also occasionally have stones present in the raw materials. In addition, some poorly designed or maintained facilities and equipment may serve as a source of physical hazard contamination. Improper employee practice may also lead to physical hazard contamination. For instance, if jewelry is not removed during food manufacturing, it may contaminate the final products. Other sources of physical hazard may involve certain processes or operations. Metal-to-metal contact in equipment can introduce metal fragments into products, while glass inclusion can occur whenever processing involves the use of glass containers. According to Food and Drug Administration, also known as FDA, Compliance Policy Guide, Foods, Adulteration Involving Hard or Sharp Objects, published in 2005, FDA has taken action against physical hazards that are hard, sharp, and pointed and 7 mm to 25 mm in length. What are some equipment commonly used in food industry to detect and eliminate physical hazards? If the food products have concerns associated with metallic physical hazard contamination, metal detectors or magnets are often used to control the hazards. If other non-metallic physical hazards may be a concern, then X-ray will be helpful in eliminating the hazard. It is quite important during food processing to monitor if you have a process control in place to control physical hazards. Here, I am providing an example of monitoring using our metal detector to understand if our metal detector is functioning properly. What do we need to monitor? We need to monitor metal detector function. How can we monitor the metal detector? By visual check, seeing products are moving forward if the alarm is beeping. When to monitor our metal detector? Well, most of our modern metal detector generate continuous software-derived monitoring records, but line personnel will also need to check the metal detector periodically to make sure everything is in place. And as I mentioned, usually it is the line personnel who is responsible for the monitoring task. During monitoring, it is quite important that records need to be generated. Usually, software-derived records are more appreciated by the auditor, as sometimes paper records can be altered. Also, it is crucial that all your record will need to be reviewed and dated and signatured. Validation and verification of your process control for physical hazards are also quite important. For validation, we usually conduct a challenge study, which means to have some food products containing physical hazard tested using the same metal detector to validate if the machine can reject these adulterated food. For verification, many elements are incorporated. For instance, as a food company, you will need to verify the accuracy of the metal detector, verifying the monitoring records of the metal detector, and also provide your calibration record to demonstrate that you have verified your process control during production. Now, please read this case study. In September 2018, hundreds of punnets of fresh strawberry were found to contain partially embedded sewing needles. The scare spanned several weeks and concerned several Australian states. In this case, what do you think is the physical hazard that may potentially cause injury to consumers? If you are from fresh strawberry industry, how can you prevent the sewing needles from getting to consumers? Well, the answer is obvious. In this case, sewing needles are apparently the physical hazard, and one of the strategies to prevent this is the installation of metal detector. Check out the references used in this module if you're interested.